Welcome to FBB Forum. My name is David, and I appreciate you for tuning in. If you like this content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow the FBB Forum Instagram page and YouTube page, and the links are down below in the comments. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning NPC women's physique athlete and CrossFit competitor, Janely Lopez, to the podcast. Janely recently competed in her first ever bodybuilding show last month in Tampa, and brought an amazing package to the stage. She won the Masters 45, I'm sorry,
40,
35,
40,
40,
40, 35.
and the open class too. And you also won the overall title at the open class, which is terrific. And Janely was planning to make her pro debut, pro qualifier debut at the North Americans, but it was not in the cards. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what happened. But welcome, Janely. It's really great to have you here. And I've been a fan of yours for a while now.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you look amazing. I think I've mentioned on Instagram that you already look like you got a pro card because you look so amazing. You've got a great physique.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I was curious if you had an athletic or sports background before you started in bodybuilding. And I know, of course, CrossFit, but talk about CrossFit and any other sports you might have done.
So growing up, I mean, I was always athletic, playing basketball and all different sports with friends. And the lifestyle was different. Back then, there was no phones. So everybody was out in the street riding bikes,
Yeah,
very different. And I was always very athletic and more of the tomboy. I always get bullied because I was like the tomboy in the school.
sure.
But
Yeah.
but I was like, oh, whatever. I didn't. It was like, yeah, because I'm athletic. Okay, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, but so I got into. My sister used to be a personal trainer when I
Okay.
was young, and then so I got into working out like when I was like 22, 23,
Okay.
and then and then I trained regular stuff, and then eventually, um, eventually I wasn't working out for like maybe 4 or 5 years, and then started working out. And then I got into CrossFit because I was like, let me find out because my sister was very big and like, oh no, CrossFit is bad for you and all this more. But I was like, let me just check it out myself. And
Uh-huh.
I'm super competitive.
Yeah,
When I
I'm
went
sure.
there the first day, I didn't know it's like you compete. You're like, they're like, you have to let's see how fast you can go and if you can do this. And I was like, oh my God, I fell in love with the sport.
Really?
And pretty much I did that for like 5 years. And then I met my wife at the gym.
Okay.
And then, so then she got hurt. She actually got hurt in CrossFit, or like her knees were like bothering too much. So
Okay.
she transitioned out to bodybuilding.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's when I said, well, okay, I'll join you. So then, then that's when I considered to try the sport. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, I did my homework and I started, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, no
And then
problem.
that's when I I looked into hiring a coach, and I
Okay.
ended up finding Justin, and we started working together.
Yeah, Justin Jacoby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a good coach too. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I was curious, why did your sister kind of try to talk you out of CrossFit, or what was the
She
motivation?
never so supposedly, because well, they how you have high repetition, and
Mm,
it's heavy. It gets heavy. I mean, anyone can get hurt. Well, you can get hurt in any sport. You hear bodybuilders get hurt, like they pull because they pull something. Like you can in any sport.
yeah, that's
But in
true.
CrossFit, they say it's more common because of the heavy weight. You go in there and there's like you're new, and sometimes you pick up this weight. You're like, and you want to, and you see someone who's like, oh, but that person doesn't look like they're in shape, and they're lifting this weight, and they
Uh-huh.
probably lift up this weight, and all of a sudden you try to move it fast, and that's how you cause some injuries.
Oh, sure. I understand. Some of those CrossFit Pro ladies are look like bodybuilders. I mean, their physiques are amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
and some you wouldn't even think, oh, they're not the girl's not even strong, and then you're like, wow, where did that come from?
Really?
You know?
Yeah. I'm surprised
Mhm.
there's not more crossover with the CrossFit into bodybuilding. It doesn't seem to have or come up very often.
I've seen a few girls that have gone from CrossFitting, that have
Uh-huh.
been in the CrossFit games and are bodybuilders now.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
really?
but I don't recall her name, but I've seen a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, some of them look like they could just compete on bodybuilding stage now. They're just amazing. Yeah.
hmm
Um, I was curious if you have like a fitness role model that you look up to.
Mm, I don't really have one in particular. I love following just different women and how, and and I admire their ethic and everything they do for the sport,
That's great.
But I don't have anyone in particular. I really follow like 50, 60 women, and I'm like, wow, this one is so, strong. This one has this one has that.
That's terrific. Yeah, no, I totally understand that. There's so many great women out there and so many to look up to, just that are
Ex-
amazing. Yeah.
Exactly. Mm.
Before I forget, and I didn't include this in my questions, but we talked before the recording about winning the Dana Lynn Bailey Award. Tell me about that. How did that come about?
So it was funny because during prep, she started a challenge where it's like an 8-week transformation challenge. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is perfect. I'm already in prep. I'm already dieting. Let me jump on it. Let me work out, do her workouts, which are great, and her little app.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, I just kept laying on, and my body was really changing big time during those 8 weeks. So it was like
Really?
so perfect, yes.
Oh,
Because then
nice.
my lines on my legs started coming in.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
It was nice because then when I turned in, I was like, when I turned in, I couldn't believe. I've always been like, oh, these these what is it? What are that these things were like fake. I always thought, oh, they're probably giving it to a friend, or. So I was like, maybe I won't win. Excuse me. Um, and then it was funny because she actually calls you on the phone.
Really? Nice.
Yes,
Wow.
so when I won, she put like the day before, she put like, oh, I'm looking at my winners, and she had a list, and I kind of like screen recorded, and I saw that I was there
Oh, nice.
so I was super excited for like 24 hours. I was like, oh my God, am I gonna get, is it gonna be me? And sure
Nice.
enough, the next day she calls me on the phone. She's like, you're the winner. And I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. It was so exciting. It was
And you
nice
got
because I won $5,000 cash.
nice.
I
Yeah.
won $500 for trifecta,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
food company.
Uh-huh.
They gave me $350 for Redcon,
Oh,
the
yeah.
sub 350, and they gave me 250 for their store.
Wow. Nice.
So
That's
yeah,
terrific. That's awesome. Wow.
yeah.
That's so good. That must have been a great feeling to get that. How that was before Tampa that you got
It
it?
was right before Tampa, so it was
Oh,
great
wow.
because it actually been like it helped me pay for everything too, and
Oh,
at the
yeah. Coming from Miami to Tampa and yeah, and pay for your
and the
travel.
shows and the this that. I mean, it adds up. These shows add up.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And the tan and makeup and everything too. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. That's terrific. That's so awesome that you won that award. That's great.
Yes.
Now I was curious, was it tough for you to get up on stage in the bikini for your first show there in Tampa? Was it kind of nerve-wracking for you or not?
You know what wasn't like I loved the the comparisons and all that. The one I don't love and I don't like too much is that 1 minute um that you have to do it on your own, and you just put on a song and you have to just make up
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Was
I don't
that,
know.
did you
That
feel
one
nervous
that
with
one's
it
a little, yes, I was nervous.
because you weren't
I,
used to it too, I bet.
no,
And
never, I've never done that. So pretty much I didn't practice too much on that one. So I just pretty much just like, just did whatever. And then when I was done, I was like, okay, I'm done. Bye.
very
And
cool. Yeah. Did
yeah,
you have
well,
a opposing coach for the show or?
I did have a posing coach for
Oh
which
yeah. Oh, you worked
which
with Christina,
is
didn't you?
I
Yeah.
did, I did. So she helped me with the posing, but we never really worked with that routine, that 1 minute routine. We never worked on that.
Oh, I see. Oh yeah. Yeah, the 1 minute routine is neat, I think, because it, get to show your creativity and,
Yeah.
but I bet that can be kind of nerve-wracking too, because yeah,
Yeah.
if you're not
I
used to
think,
it too.
but so that, maybe that's a good reason I didn't jump on North America, because I wasn't ready for it.
Oh,
I need to
yeah.
be well prepared. I want to be, when I become a pro, it's like well prepared.
Oh, totally understand that. No, I understand. And you could work with Christina on a routine with the music and
I'm
everything.
sure.
Yeah, she does that a lot with competitors. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
no, I So in terms of, like we talked about, you were planning to compete at North Americans, but then this year back, I think it was just like 10 days ago or so, but decided to drop out of the show a few days before. So I'm just curious
Yeah,
what happened. And, and like I said, I miss seeing you on stage again. So it's,
yes. So I had a long prep. It was about 24 weeks, and actually, like almost 2 weeks out from North Americans, I kind of like fell off. It was like I was at night. I was kind of eating. I was eating off the plan. I just couldn't like stick to it. It was just I was like my body was so I was so hungry. It was
mm,
just so hard. And then
I
like
understand.
then the next night it'll be something else. I get up and start eating a little more. And the next day I might eat a little more, and then it just like and then yeah, your body's like not responding. You're just not looking the way you're supposed to.
Yeah,
So I was like, wasn't happy. I was like, I want to look better.
sure.
I think
I understand.
I know I can do better. I
Sure.
know myself. I know, but it was just already too long. And I was like, okay, I already did my first show. I already won the DLB. Okay, so maybe it's okay to step back.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I understand that.
Mentally I wasn't there. I was, just being a little mean, and I was like, no, I don't want this right now. It's like,
I think you mentioned dreaming about food a little too much, and you were
and
so
just
worried
it was
about that,
just oh my
right?
God, every day you just on Instagram looking at food. So you know how your feed tells you like, oh, they suggest all my suggestions. If you look through it, was only cookies and ice cream and cakes and the funny, what's one funny thing is excuse me, I've never been into sweets. I've
Okay.
never before prep. I've always been like salty. I'll go out to eat a restaurant, and my wife will be like, they come to do you want a dessert? No, 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 thank you.
Yeah.
Never. I was never into sweets, but now that's all I crave. I want
Really?
sweet, sweet, sweet. Yes, it's
Wow.
like
Is
it's
it
like
just from being carb deprived, do you think? Or
I something in the body, something in there that's like, yeah, I need sugar. I need sugar. You
yeah,
know,
I
it's,
understand. No,
it's definite.
I can see where that's I think that's somewhat common too. And but I haven't heard of that though before in terms of not liking sweets and then like or really craving them like that.
Yeah,
So
I was never. I didn't care for it. It was like, if I had it once a year, I'm like, okay. I wasn't never into it. But now it's like that's all I crave. I'm like, I want sweets, I want donuts. They have the best donuts here. I have to get the cookies here. I have to, oh, it's been
yeah, stuff at Krispy Kreme or something like that. Kind of evil.
yes.
No, that's awesome. No, I totally understand that. And that's such a long prep too. And I think any competitor having that long of a prep would have had a challenge, I think, with getting ready for a show like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said you stayed in Pittsburgh though, and you ended up watching the show.
I ended up staying, but I ended up like actually eating everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
I ended up watching it in the room in the house, and I rented it, and I watched it on my phone. But yes, I
Oh,
ended up eating some little mini donuts they have over there at this little place. We had 2 boxes because I got every flavor. And I was
oh,
like, I took a bite of every of them. I'm like, I want to taste them all.
nice.
And
Yeah.
I had that was my first time trying. Have you heard of those nothing bun cakes or something like that? Nothing.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, so that was
They're
my first time. They
they're
they
like
sell
little
these.
mini bun cakes. Yeah,
They
those are
said so.
cute.
They said,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, we bought a whole box of them." I went crazy over there. I started over there. I came back home. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do it. I start there. Yeah, right. Midday, I'm like, oh man, there's this donut place. There's this. I go, oh my God, I'm going off. But I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I know myself. I know. I mean, this is not my first time dieting, but before it's like I would get off like I wasn't into sugar, but I'll be eating everywhere out, and I'm like, okay, I need to eat at home. I need to start
Yeah.
eating at home, and eventually I snap out of it. I'm like, okay, my body's like, okay, you're done.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
No, I totally understand that. And there's a lot of temptation in Miami. We talked about there's a lot of good food down there in Miami.
oh, I had lost, and I had a list of everything I wanted to do. All
Uh,
these restaurants, new restaurants with breakfast. That they have the new French toast, the crunchy French toast with blueberries and oh my goodness,
good
and the
stuff.
new and right now it's like pumpkin spice. So everything, I want pumpkin everything.
Oh yeah, I saw at Publix today. A Publix it had a pumpkin chocolate cake. I was like,
And
whoa,
it's
that
so
sounds good.
delicious.
That's awesome. Um, now you said that Gary Udit was doing you solid, and he's gonna help you out with.
Yes, I told him like I told him exactly how I felt. I'm like, look, I'm sorry. I've been on prep for 24, my mentally, like I'm not there. I'm not here. I can't do it. I just competed for the first time. This is all my first time, August 3rd. And he was like, no, no problem. We'll move it over to the next. I was like, oh, that's good, So that gave me a little hope,
That's
you know.
great. Yeah. So for next year, you could
Yeah.
still get into one of his shows and yeah,
Mhm.
and not have to pay the double or pay an extra fee and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
It was $900 to sign up for three because I signed up for the three.
Oh, that three. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So it's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad. That's great that Gary was able to help you out like that. And he,
Yeah.
from what I've heard, he seems like a really decent guy too,
Yes. Actually, it was a friend who recommended, like, why don't you write? And I was like, really? I was like, okay, let me. And sure enough, he was sweet and he was very nice. Like, yeah, yeah, no problem. Move it over. I was like, oh, thank God.
That's so awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. No, shout out to Gary because I've heard so many good things about him being a good promoter and just putting on a good show too. So yeah, that's true. That's awesome.
Mhm.
You know, I want to go back to Tampa Pro. Like, what was your experience like there? And I thought you looked really fantastic, and I thought you already looked like a pro. But did you enjoy the show?
It was fun. But it was different. Like, it was rushed. I didn't get to experience, like, because normally how they send the ladies by themselves to do the 30 seconds where they just do the five mandatory poses.
Yeah.
But since it was sandwiched in to the pro shows, they're kind of like rushing it.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we didn't have that 30-second
Oh,
on your own.
really?
Yeah.
Was it just comparisons instead
Yeah,
of?
they right away they were just like go up and they just compared you, but which was okay. I didn't mind. But I didn't get to have that experience.
Did you get to do your posing
The
routine?
routine, yes,
Oh, you did.
I did the routine.
Oh, cool.
It was a little funny, nerve-wracking. Just did my quick 5 poses, did a little extra, and then I walked off.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Since you're Latina, you got to do like a J-Lo or song or something like that.
I sure did.
Oh, do you have J-Lo song? Yeah. I
I
know
did.
that's your handle on
I
Instagram anyways, J-Lo. So yeah.
It is. Everybody calls me J-Lo because my name is Janely Lopez. So, I mean, everybody, you're like, what's your name, Janely? So I was like, you know what? Forget Janely. You won't forget J-Lo. J-Lo, right? So no one
Yeah.
forgets J-Lo. So then everybody could just call me J-Lo, 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 J-Lo.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. It's memorable. Yeah, very memorable too. Yeah. And she's so awesome anyway. J-Lo, her,
Yeah.
actress and singer. That's very cool. I was curious, what was your experience backstage at Tampa? Was there kind of like a strong Iron Sisterhood, and was there
You
good?
know, it a lot of people say how, oh yeah, they're connect and you'll meet friends, but I didn't feel that connection, to be
Really?
honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
There was like, I tried to talk to people, but they were just like, oh yeah, just very cold. Not I didn't feel that connection there.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry about
Not
that.
this
Yeah.
time. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe in another one would have been different, but this one it was a little different.
Did you get to meet any of the pros too? Because I find that the pros are often really kind of cool, and they like to hear from fans and from the amateur athletes.
Um I ran into she was sweet. She was nice. I mean, I took a picture with her in the elevator, but I didn't get to speak to her much. I don't know because I'm new to the sport. The
Yeah.
little one, she's really small, bodybuilder.
Oh, Michaela?
Yes,
Oh yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, she's incredible. Yeah.
yes,
And she's
she
really
was.
sweet too.
Yes, yes, yes. I was like, oh, but that's about it.
Oh, that's cool though. Yeah. No, I'm glad that you still got to go to Tampa and that just winning the overall. I bet that was kind of a big boost in confidence for you.
But you know what was cool? Because I with Elena, the body physique competitor, she actually we stayed in the same room.
Oh, really?
So it was cool to see her going because she competed first, right? Yes, I think she competed first.
Oh,
Did
Elena
she?
Alvarez, right? or
So,
avails?
and yes.
Oh
So
yeah.
it was
Oh
cool
yeah.
to see her prep and good to see her through her process and the whole everything what she was going through. So it was like it is motivating. When I see her, I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I should do this. Actually I actually saw her today. We trained today,
Oh,
you know.
nice.
And
She's
and, and
amazing.
it's like and it is motivating when I see her, I'm like, yeah, And so it's like right now, like I'm in like well, right now I can't focus on my diet, but maybe in the future, like I said to her, right now I'm like, ugh, but I can never say never, you
Yeah,
know?
I understand. And the Lennon, she's amazing too. I think I'm gonna borrow you to help translate interview sometime with her, I think.
Yes. And
Yeah.
she's gonna compete now again too, hopefully September 29th at the Daytona.
Oh, really? At Daytona? Oh, terrific.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's a good show too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I know yeah, oh, that's cool. I didn't know she was coming back, but she lives in Miami, I think now, doesn't she?
Yeah, she lives here.
Yeah, that's terrific. Yeah, I do hope that she'll get back to the Olympia because she's just got amazing physique and I know she came close this year but didn't quite get
Yeah,
the win that she needed. So,
yeah.
yeah.
It's okay. The stage is always there and she can keep going. She's amazing. They really condition her body really well,
Oh,
you
I know
know?
her physique is amazing. Yeah. Her back is just crazy. It's so good. I was curious, would you say that CrossFit helped you get ready for bodybuilding? And I was wondering if are there kind of similarities
Yes.
and
I,
differences between the two sports?
I think I mean, I've always pushed myself real hard in CrossFit. So it's not like I've gone in there and be like, okay, because there's some people who do CrossFit and they're just like, they take their time and they don't really care. I'm really, since I'm really competitive, I'll go in there and I'll push myself really hard and I'll try to go extra heavy. And
Yeah.
as I'm doing that, and I would follow some type of nutrition plan.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
helped me put on some muscle mass throughout these years, you
Yeah.
know because I see myself. I look back at pictures of where I started to where I'm at now. I'm much more bigger, you know.
Yeah.
And I only bodybuilt for 1 year, so really didn't build too much from that. So it's carried from. So I brought it from before, you
Have
know.
you in terms of CrossFit, what's like the highest level that you've reached in terms of the competitions?
So I did local competitions.
Okay.
Um, when I forgot what year, like because in CrossFit to be in the games, there's a lot of movements that you have to learn. Like you have to learn how to walk in your hands. I can't do that. So,
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's this cool there's this cool thing that they do every year online where you compete against the world.
Oh,
You
really?
know,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So you
Uh-huh.
do, and it was cool. Then I forgot 2017, I believe it was. So then you can do so if you don't have all the movements then you can do what is called scaled, right? And in scale there's even like 50,000 people that sign up,
Oh,
and it was
wow.
cool because I did that one and I ended up third in the world.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so
Terrific.
that was
Wow.
yeah, so I mean it's fun, but it's to be in the games, like you must start very young so you can
Yeah.
learn everything. So it's because a lot of things, it's a lot of movements.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I like the swimming, even like the
It's,
swimming part is looks really difficult
yes, people struggle there.
and then the like the pull-up challenge and stuff and like yes,
And the muscle ups and the ring muscle ups, and then
yeah.
um, they have a lot of. And the Olympic lift is have. I don't know if you're familiar with snatching,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
clean and jerks, and these
Yeah.
girls lift heavy, very
I
heavy,
know.
so impressive, so impressive.
Yeah, like I said, like some of those CrossFit ladies look like they could compete in bodybuilding and I said you said there is some crossover, but
Yeah,
it's one of the few times you get to see like the muscle ladies on TV because CrossFit is I think I've seen it on CBS Sports a few times with
yeah.
the pros doing the CrossFit final games or whatever. And so yeah, it is. I find it really interesting. It's neat to see. But I would just be worried about the injuries because of the you have to do the clean and jerks like quickly and multiple reps and like rip your arms off or something.
Yeah.
Um, I was curious in terms of the Tampa show, like at being a new competitor, what surprised you the most? Was there anything like what the most unexpected thing that occurred, would you say?
No, I don't think I had anything. I could pretty much, I did like a lot of homework and I would look at a lot of videos and it was all very similar. So it
Oh yeah.
wasn't, yeah. So not too many surprises, not, you
Okay.
know. And I had gone to actually my first show to see was the North Americans last year
Oh, really? Oh, so you checked it out so you could see what it
because
was
I
like.
I had
Yeah.
met I had met Paige for her last name,
Paige
Sanderman.
Sandgren?
Yes,
Yeah.
so I met and I actually wanted to meet her in person. So I ended up flying over there because she was competing last year there. And
Yeah.
then I saw my first show and then, I saw her go through it and that's how I was familiar with it.
Oh, terrific. Yeah. That's great that you got to see a show because yeah, so you kind of knew what to expect and
Yes.
uh-huh. That's terrific. Very cool. Um, Now I didn't know after Tampa show, did you get any judge feedback on where you need to improve your physique or presentation?
Yes. They said that I should what is it called? Um yeah, what's it like to get just a little bigger. Nothing they were like if I can look it up, like something with that, I had a great physique, and just keep it up. They didn't say anything in particular, like, oh, work on this muscle or work on that. No, I didn't get
Oh,
any of that.
terrific. Yeah. I bet they were really impressed with you. You're like,
They're like, oh, you have very good size. Maybe
yeah.
just what's that word? When you eat a little bit to grow, what's
Oh,
the
like
word? The
fuller or getting
Yes, more
yeah.
fuller. They're like, you just need to come in a little fuller.
Oh, really? I see. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. And there's that's kind of like a peak week kind of thing, like a little bit
Yeah,
of
something that they have to manipulate, I guess. I mean, I'm
yeah,
new, so I don't know. That's one thing they told me.
I know yeah, the coaches will help with that too. And yeah. Um the Now I was curious, you mentioned about Justin, and tell me about your him as a coach. Do you like working with him?
Yes, yes, he's very good. He's very, on top of everything, always looking out. Um, but that's it. Right now, we took a little break, and moving forward, who knows what happens. But for now, I'm happy. We won two things. We won, our first show. We won my DOB. I can't complain.
That's
So
terrific. Yeah. That must have been, like you said, about with DLB, get the chance to talk to her. She's kind of a legend in the sport. And
yeah, she was the first. She was the first women's physique to win Olympia.
that's right. Yeah.
She
And
was the
she's,
first one.
in terms of this podcast, I'd say she's the number one person as a role model that comes up. Just the women really love her and she
Yeah,
just motivates so many people. So and
yeah.
it's cool that she still is even, she's not competing anymore, but
She
um
said one and done. She won the first Olympia, and she said, "I'm out."
I know. Yeah, I admire that actually. Yeah, I know. But she still looks great though. She's really
Oh,
amazing.
she keeps up. She really, really, she does. She works, and she says she works out every day. She works
Yeah.
out every day.
She got crazy abs. Her abs are amazing.
Yeah.
Now how long have you been working with Christina Mendoza as a posing coach?
I was working with her throughout the like 2, 3 months before Tampa.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
would talk to her maybe, once, so maybe like 4 months before.
Okay.
And then I would see her once a month. And then once we got closer, it was just like maybe every 2 weeks I was seeing her.
Okay. Great. Yeah,
Yeah.
she seems like a really good coach and
Yes.
she's been working with a lot of really good athletes lately.
The sport is hard. Like the posing is very hard. It's not as easy as one thinks.
I
And
know.
little movements really make a difference. It really changes your size, what you look like, and everything. It's interesting.
I think too, if you need to kind of practice posing so you're not like kind of shaky on stage, because I know sometimes the ladies just aren't practice posing enough and they're just not quite ready to be on stage.
Yeah,
They might be ready physique wise, but not posing wise.
because right, because the conditioning, it gets you tired because you're like
Yeah.
you're there trying to hold and trying to flex at the same time. And
hmm I know. I think that's really tough to do. Even like the figure ladies, and they have to wear the heels, but then they have to keep their legs flexed while they're on up on stage. I think that would be really hard to
Yes.
do. Yeah.
Yes.
Have you, I was curious if you've considered, I think you're perfect for women's physique, but have you considered doing figure possibly?
You know, I don't like the heels part.
Yeah, yeah, they look really uncomfortable actually.
Being on heels would be very hard, and then especially when my feet will probably get swollen, and then you feel a lot of pain. I was like,
I
I'd
know.
rather.
Oh, I think it's great to stick with women's physique. I think you're perfect for it. So yeah, definitely stick with that.
Thank
Um,
you.
now, so I know you're new to this, but what would you say was the most challenging aspect of prep for you?
The end, the ending towards the end, the food,
The food, yeah, like we
the food.
talked about. Yeah,
I think I think my prep would have been a little bit shorter. I would have been a little more. It would have been a little more manageable for myself,
yeah, I understand.
where
Yeah.
I would probably wouldn't have suffered this thing that I'm going through right now, where I'm like, just want to eat everything.
Hmm.
But it's funny because and then you read online, some people say, oh, it's better to do longer preps, or but maybe it's not for everybody.
Yeah, I understand.
Maybe they can consider this longer preps for people who can mentally manage it, but maybe for not everybody can handle that
I
and
totally understand.
still be in the sport.
Mhm.
Maybe 12, 16 weeks max. You know,
Now, and I know what you went over 40, but do you mind me asking how old you are?
I just turned 41 September 2nd.
Yeah,
September 41 years old. I'm 41.
very cool. Good. Happy birthday too.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was curious, do you think it's tougher uh in terms of being over 40 and doing prep too? Because you know, maybe your body, I don't know if it's easier when you're younger, is what I'm saying. Do you think?
I
Or,
I wouldn't know. I can't
yeah,
can tell you. Since I've never tried it before, I can't compare.
sure. Yeah.
But I mean, it's different now. Especially when I have a family. I have a
Yeah.
son, and it's a little more difficult when you have so much time in a prep, because it's like this is a selfish sport.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you have to really be on yourself, and you have to focus on yourself, and then it's like kind of hard when you have your family wants to go out here, wants to do this, and it's like, no, sorry, we can't do it because I'm going through this.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. And how old is your son?
My son is 12.
12. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Is he supportive of your bodybuilding career?
Yes, yes, he's always been supportive. He kind of like, it was funny because then like he sees me like working out, and randomly he'll come into the room and there's a mirror, and he'll go and he'll flex, and
Oh,
so it's
nice. Very
like,
cool.
so he's definitely, and then kids in school, they tell him like, wow, your mom is so strong, so this, so it's, and then of course it brings up his like ego, like, look at my mom, yeah, she's so cool, look at her, she's so strong.
That's awesome. Very cool. Yeah. No, I bet that's kind of neat to have like superhero mom, you know. That's awesome. That's great that he supports you and that he's excited about it too. Does he come to your shows?
He ended up not coming because he's also very little, so
Yeah.
he doesn't have like the patience, and those shows take a long time,
Yeah.
because all the people that they're going through. So he'll be like, he's bored, he just like, okay, you want to see my mom and get out of there, like, I don't want to
Yeah.
sit there.
I understand. Yeah.
And then I figured, my head was good, I needed to focus, so I wanted to make sure that so I just left them behind with my sister, and
I totally understand. I was just thinking when I've been a bodybuilding fan since I was a kid, so I'd be like, yeah, mom, I'll come with you. That would be like, yeah, I'll be all right with that. That's awesome though. Yeah, no, I understand though with but maybe he can come to your next show. That would be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely. He'll be a little older then.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I'll be a teenager by that maybe too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Um, I was curious, what is your favorite body part on your physique and your least favorite? And I just want to say, I think you look really great with your back double biceps pose, but I think your abs and thigh is your kind
I
of
love
signature
my
pose.
abs. Definitely my abs. I love my abs. I feel like genetically I've been blessed there.
Hmm.
Where sometimes I do go up in weight and I still, you can, maybe they're not as lean, but you can still see them. Like where
Yeah.
most people, that's the last thing for it to come in, where they're like, oh, my abs come in last. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like the other way around. That's my first thing to come in are my abs. I'm like super lean in my abs
That's
versus,
great. Yeah.
and my least, I would say would be probably my legs, which is so hard
Hmm.
to get them lean, as lean as I want them to be.
Yeah, I understand. Do you want to get them bigger too, do you think?
Oh, eventually, yes, of course. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I understand. I think I would say that's really common amongst a lot of women is the legs and getting that's
The
almost
size.
like a female thing, I think, too, with getting the legs big enough, but also more conditioned like you want to, you know.
Exactly. That condition is very hard for women.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. Um, just going back to Justin real quick, what advice can you give to ladies who are looking for a good coach? Like, what would you say in terms of, finding one that you like and stick with?
Just doing their homework and finding their interest in what they're looking for. For me was this is a scary sport. Obviously, women, what we put ourselves through, and I didn't want like big changes. I didn't want to look masculine. I didn't
Yeah,
want I didn't want like features to start changing on me or so I
yeah,
kind of like I did my homework with him. I looked at all his ladies. I was like, man, they all look very feminine.
yeah. Oh,
And
yeah,
that
great.
was that was what I was interested
Okay.
in.
Yeah, I understand.
And so that's why I picked him. And I was like, okay, his ladies look good.
That's good
But
advice.
but but I mean, it depends because everybody has different. Maybe someone doesn't care. Like, oh, I don't care. Well, okay, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
So definitely, that's what they gotta do their homework on what their interests are and
I
what
was
they're
curious.
looking for, and talking to their coach and saying, look, this is what I want. Are you willing to?
Sure. And don't be afraid to ask questions too. And,
Of
and
course.
I was curious, did you get to talk with any Justin's other athletes before you started working with him?
Um, no, actually, I didn't talk to them, but I did go in through their Instagram, and because he would post and share, so I would like just look through everybody
Yeah.
and then eventually I actually became friends with a few of them
Okay.
online.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been everybody's so supportive. The sport is very supportive. Even after I posted where I said I might not do this again, they're like, no, they send me messages. No, you gotta do it. Don't worry. I went through this, I've gone through this. Don't worry. This
Really?
happens. Yeah.
Oh, oh, wow.
They're like, you gotta do it. You're made for this and that. They're like so supportive. So I'm like, so this is what plays with my mind. We're like,
Uh-huh.
it's true. And I know, like, and I know I could. I know I have the potential to be able to diet and to stick to it. But of course, it's just my first time. I was just tired. I was tired. I had already done my first show. I had done the other. I was like, okay, I'm over this.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah. I think Big Jane, I think that used to work with Justin.
Yes, and I still talk to her now. We
Yeah.
talked today. Today we message each other, and she's going. She's also like, in those last days, like this is hard. She's like, this is hard, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you got to do it, Jane.
Yeah.
Look at me. Like this was just my first time, but no, you can't. You got to stick to it. You got to do it. You're almost there. You only have 12 days. And it's like you support each other because it's
Yeah.
like I know what she was going through.
Yeah. Oh,
When
yeah.
you're like when you get all this deprived from all this food, and you're just like when you're online looking and you're torturing yourself looking at all these food because she'll send me like these videos like of this cake or this, and I'm like, yeah, that looks so good. It looks rewarding. Don't worry, at the end when you're
Uh-huh.
done, it's a reward. You can have that.
That's true. Yeah. I know she's
Mm,
competing in Titans in LA and on the 21st.
yes,
And yeah, I've
and
been
she's
trying to
really
encourage her too, because this is her pro debut too. So
yeah. So I was like, you gotta do it. And she's like, right now, I don't know if you've seen her pictures the last few days. Like she's
Yeah,
looking really lean. Like she's looking really, really, really good.
she is really looking good. I'm really
Yeah.
impressed with her. Yeah,
There
I'm
are
excited
changes like
for her.
these past, So I'm like, you stick to it, girl. You cannot mess up. You cannot mess up.
I know, no, I really think she's got she could win it. I think she really looks
I was
great.
telling her, yeah, I was like, look, if you win it, that's perfect. You win, you go to Olympia next year, so you take a break, a nice long
Yeah.
break,
Mhm.
mental break. You just eat, go see with family, go do your thing, and then you go back into it like a nice short. But she's also like me. She's been in a long prep right now.
I know. Yeah, that's true. And I know
You
she
know,
postponed, she was going to compete in Tampa, but then
and
postponed
she
that.
ended up, yeah. So
Yeah.
she's been
Mhm.
on prep for a long time.
Yeah. And if she's living up to her name though, Big Jane, you know what
Big James, she's big. She's definitely big.
I'm saying? I was curious, do you have a full-time job outside of bodybuilding?
Yes, I work from home actually. I work with my best friend. He's a CPA,
Okay.
so he has all these accounts, and I help him with all the bookkeeping for all
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
I work from home. It's good and bad because the good thing is yes, I'm home and I have flexibility to go work out whenever I want, do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But then the bad part is I am home and sometimes I'm bored and I'm like, oh, what do I do? And then that's when
Oh,
you start thinking too much and you get bored. And it's like,
yeah.
what do I eat? What do I do? And you get this anxiety and oh
That's something my ex-wife mentioned is like she would really have a hard time working from home because you have the kitchen like right there, and you have that food
yes.
there, and she would just, want to
They're
binge,
picking us. You pick on something and you start something like and you just can't stop. You're just like, like that bag of chips where you're like, I'm just gonna get a few. You're right. You end up eating the whole bag.
Yeah, I know. And I can see that. I think that would be tough. And,
Hmm.
or just eating while you're working, just to kind of keep, yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, exactly. That's
So
cool.
it's a good, it has its pros and cons about working at home.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
no, I work from home myself and it is, yeah, there's definitely pros and cons. And I've been working from home for like 12 years. It's been quite a while now.
But you're also, you work on other things too, though. You get out a
Oh
lot.
yeah, I do. Yeah, definitely. And I get to travel for work sometimes too, which is cool.
uh,
Cool. But yeah, no, it is. It definitely. I just like not having to, deal with the traffic in Tampa
exactly.
uh, or in Miami. I mean, geez, Miami's
Oh,
traffic is
it's
terrible.
horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's constant jam over there.
Hmm.
Now, I was curious, is Marcia, your wife, is she really supportive of your bodybuilding career? And um,
Yes, definitely she is. She's like whatever she's like, she sticks with me with whatever I do.
cool.
She was really supportive the whole time. At the end I was kind of being mean and I was like, but it wasn't
Yeah.
me. It wasn't me. It was just this hungry person inside of me suffering.
Yes, I understand.
I was just
Yeah.
suffering because as soon as I ate, it was just like it just became a different person.
Yeah. You're hangry.
I was angry.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that term, hangry. Yeah.
Hmm. It's
Um,
real.
I was curious how long have y'all been married, and do you think that she'll ever compete in bodybuilding again, or?
Um, she's a firefighter.
Yeah.
Um, and we talked about it because she does have a good nice physique to compete as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the problem is she doesn't want to take because she feels like towards the end, you're already so deprived and so weak, and her job is a firefighter, and
Yeah.
it's demanding and she doesn't want to take so much time off, because at the end of the day, we need the money for we need to work,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
she just so she's scared that if she has to work, she has to put all this gear on, she has to and she has to have the energy, you
Yeah. I
know
understand.
so she's
Plus,
like
like the prep brain probably wouldn't be good too, because you have to really be sharp and aware in
exactly,
emergency situations and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, you're putting other lives in risk, they need you you
Yeah,
know
that's true. How long have you guys been married?
Oh, so we've been married for we got married pretty fast. So you know how I don't know if you've heard lesbians say they're like quick, quick, quick.
Uh-huh.
I think we
I've heard that.
yes. It was almost like that. So it was like we've been together today 5.5 years. So
Okay.
we started dating at March, and then we got married in November.
Really? Wow, that is
So
wow.
that was that.
That's awesome. Very
It was
cool.
fast. So, but we've been together for 5.5 years.
Wow, terrific.
And
Yeah.
and then my biggest blessing is my son accepted her.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, does he
Yes.
live with you guys?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Very
Yes.
cool. That's awesome. That's really sweet. Yeah.
And he loves her. And it's so sweet because he'll talk to his school. He's like, oh, I have two moms, and he's
Yeah.
proud of it. And it's like it is so heartwarming. Like it feels good. Like wow, like my son is special. Like he makes me feel good. Like you know,
That's really sweet. I love that. I think that's great. Yeah. I don't like it like, some of the politicians like Ron DeSantis are kind of seem like anti-gay and anti-LGBT and he just drives me crazy anyway. I'm not a big
yeah,
fan of him. He's just but
yeah,
and kind of just he's kind of a bully in a sense, but
yeah.
like, a lot of politicians are that way, I think, with when it comes to the to that issue, and so yeah, no, that but Miami is pretty friendly, I think, for LGBT, isn't it?
Yes, yes. I haven't never had any issues. It was so the only thing I've ever heard it was a kid like tell my son like ew like because he's like, oh, you have two moms, ew. And it was funny. That was the first time I hear him. He goes, no, it's super cool. It's super
Yeah,
cool. I have two moms and it's easy and they're like, really?
that's
And they're
awesome.
like,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you got to overhear him
yeah.
talking to the other
Yes,
kids.
yes, I
Oh
overheard
yeah.
him talking about like
Oh,
about,
that's
it
so
was so sweet. Yeah.
yeah, that's really awesome. Yeah, I was curious. How about your parents? Are they still alive?
So my mom passed away last year.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, no, it's okay. It's okay. She
Yeah.
passed away. She had a pancreatic cancer.
Oh, oh yeah, that's tough to survive.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, they gave her a year, and sure enough, 1 year later, she passed away.
Oh wow.
But I was, I'm like, I'm okay because I tried my best to do everything I could for her to the
Yeah.
end. When we found out because at the end, she's like, I don't want to do any more chemo. She told me, and I said,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I understand. This is your body. This is your life. And then why don't you come live with me? And sure enough, she lived with me the last I think like a month or two before she
Okay.
passed away.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
and
Yeah.
she's like, I just want to eat. She would tell me. And I was like, you
Uh-huh.
want to eat? Okay, we're gonna eat wherever you want. And we
That's
would go
great.
out eating everywhere, and I take her everywhere. Where do you want to eat today? Okay, let's go out to eat.
Oh,
And
nice.
then it's
Yeah.
like,
Hmm. Yeah, I bet
so
with chemo would be tough because your chemo is hard to keep stuff down,
yeah,
and yeah, and no, that's sweet that you helped her out and helped her at the end there.
yeah.
Did you?
If she would have seen me in a bodybuilding show, I don't think she would have. She would have had like the she would have been approving of this though. She'd be like, "No, you look so strong and so muscular, so much muscles." And da, 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 da. So I,
Oh,
I kind of took advantage where I'm like, "Oh, she's gone. Now is the time I can actually do the sport too."
oh, I see. Yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm saying my mom came to watch me as me. She should look for me. She'll understand me differently now. She'll understand that I'm doing something that I love, because I do love to look a certain way. I do love
Yeah.
to look, I love to look strong and have abs and look muscular. I do enjoy the look.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. Did
so, so that's why I'm like, okay, but and then I have my dad who he's around. He's like 80 something years old, but we're not as close.
okay.
We
Yeah.
we we still talk, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
He's also so he went blind, so he hasn't been able to see me.
Oh,
But
really?
I yeah. So I'm
Wow.
like, this is
So,
good. I was like, you can't see me because he's also be like, no, because I told him I was like, Dad, like I'm gonna be competing. I'm like looking a little muscular, and then he's like, no, why? But I'm like, oh, he can't even see me anyway.
do you have a Cuban background?
Yes. So
Oh, you do?
my mom and dad are both Cubans.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's really cool. That's yeah, that I guess that's kind of if your dad doesn't is kind of skeptical about muscular ladies not being able to see you, maybe is a good thing, maybe.
And
Oh
like he can't
man.
see me. He can't see me.
maybe, but if he came to the bodybuilding show, he could still yell for you. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
that um, I have to wrap up pretty soon. I have another interview coming up shortly.
Okay,
Um,
sorry.
oh no, it's great. It's been a great conversation. Um, now in terms of Miami, do you find that to be the supportive bodybuilding for community for
Oh,
bodybuilding?
oh yeah. There's
Yeah,
definitely a lot of gyms around here who are very competitive. There's
yeah.
Pro Tech, there's Elevation. There's a few, there's a bunch here, actually.
There's just a lot of beautiful people in Miami, and I can. It seems like a lot of people just go to the gym, just to look good,
Yeah,
So,
definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
like out at Miami Beach and stuff, just
Uh-huh.
see a lot of bodybuilders out there, and yeah. But I do think this is a little rivalry, but I think Tampa has become a bigger bodybuilding mecca than Miami in recent years because there's
Yes,
so many competitors here in Tampa. Yeah,
yes, you do.
it is. Tampa's great for that. So I just have a few more questions. I was curious, do you ever find yourself kind of to be the target of fit shaming? And
And
I
what?
fit shaming or
Um, no. I
no?
mean, maybe I've, and then I would like where they say I'm too muscular or something. Is that what
Yeah,
we're talking? You
yeah.
know, I've had, and then I'll tell them like, why you messing with me? Why are you coming to me with that? And then all of a sudden they become my friends. They're
Really?
like, no, like
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm like. Leave, like I'm not bothering you. I'm just working out. I just want to look a certain way. Who cares? Like, well, what does
Uh-huh.
it matter? And then I don't know. I buy into them, and they're like, we all of a sudden we end up being friends.
Nice. Oh, that's terrific. Yeah.
And they're like, you're really nice. And then I'm like, well, I mean, you see, I didn't even bother to say, you see, but you came to me like, oh, because I'm so muscular. Like, who cares? Like, what does it
Uh-huh.
have to do with you? Like you? Like, what does it matter? It's my body.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's really cool though. You're such a nice person in general. So I could see that happening with folks approaching you like that. What about, do you have to deal with like any trolls on social media? Because I know trolls can be kind
That's
of.
no, mostly from social medias where in person nobody's ever told me anything.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In
Okay.
person, there's usually like mostly like, oh, you have so beautiful shoulders and you're so strong. And how do you work out? How many times do you work out? And what do you eat? And
That's awesome. That's very cool. Yeah.
Mm,
That's good that you haven't had to deal with that in person because yeah, that'd be kind of nasty. But
yeah,
I
no,
think that
no.
people are a little bit more the keyboard warriors, on with the
I think
trolls
uh,
on social
I
media.
think in person I look a little more intimidating too. I look,
Oh yeah, that could be.
it's like
Uh,
they're like I don't want to mess with her.
uh-huh. You're gonna kick my ass.
Yeah.
No, I'm just teasing.
Yeah, but I'm no fighter. I'm not a fight, but I might look like one, but I'm not.
Yeah, they might think you're MMA or something.
Yeah.
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 I was curious. I know you have a pretty good following, for an amateur bodybuilder. Do you do you find it hard to keep up with demands of social media? And do you get many DMs or many comments on your posts and that kind of
Yeah,
thing?
I'll get DMs and there's the funny ones, they talk silly stuff and just but I mean but I've seen like how people that have big followings, how people get aggressive and just so mean,
Yeah, that's true.
you know. It's hard. It's hard, but it's like all in you have to be strong minded for all this and you have to understand that it's just people are bored and just jealous and they're like probably more jealous than anything. They're like, why does she look like that? Why is she like, why can I be that way?
Uh-huh. I totally understand that. I think that's true. And in social media, I call it anti-social media sometimes because it because you can be anonymous and you have you're not in person. They say some things that maybe they wouldn't say in person, and it kind of enables them a little bit. So, yeah, no, I know what you mean, but it's just I know it gets some of the competitors down. They can kind of feel depressed
Of
from
course,
from
because
that.
it is hurtful at the end of the day,
Yeah.
because you're also putting it out there for the people. And then there's those people who are like being so mean, and you're like, man, I'm just trying to push being positive, being
Hmm.
healthy, and work out on yourself, or take care of yourself, and you're gonna bash me like,
Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of insecurities for some of those folks.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Hmm. I was curious, how do you think we can get bodybuilding back on TV? And I was wondering if you ever watched it back on ESPN, on NBC back in the day. It used to be on, somewhat regularly on those networks.
Mm, to be honest with you, I think would be hard. It's just I think, since there's a lot of supplements in the sport, I
Yeah.
think that's why they don't push it
Okay.
on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're like, this is not something, that it's legal. Certain things that people use, so it's like, why would you put that, like, oh, like do this sport,
Yeah. I understand that.
if there was more of a where now we're actually now they're doing the clinics and being more tested. I guess maybe in the future, if there's more doctors involved and more screening and more health cautious about the sport, maybe they can bring it back up, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
I understand. Yeah. I guess it does. Yeah. Because the supplement use, it kind of keeps it a very niche kind of sport. But
Mm-hmm.
my argument is that there's a lot of niche sports already on ESPN, and they have like
They
cornhole
don't.
and hot dog eating contests, which is probably like the opposite of bodybuilding.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I would like to see it back on TV again. I know a few years back, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was talking about promoting a show, and if they could get like somebody like that,
The
so
big, yeah.
that and then like in pro wrestling, there's been supplement use for years,
Oh, yeah.
but it
But
didn't deter
you don't
people.
hear it as common. As
Yeah.
in to the bodybuilding, all these everybody's big people, they're all, what
Mhm.
mostly everybody's on something, so it's
Yeah,
like this is
that's
just
true.
this is a little different,
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I just don't think that should deter the networks from putting it back on, and because
Mhm.
I do think back in the day it kind of helped bring people to check out bodybuilding maybe for the first time, and made it motivate them to compete later too. So I think it would be great to see it come back again.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Yeah. Um, Now I was curious if there's anybody that I missed that you'd like to, or anything that I missed that you'd like to address, or anybody that you'd like to shout out. I'm sorry, I can't talk today.
Mm. No, no. We've touched everybody pretty much, you know. Jane really has been the closest with me, and Elena too. And then, Justin, I can't, I'm happy with everybody, you know.
That's terrific.
Definitely.
And do you have any sponsors, or are you interested in sponsors?
No, no sponsors, but I mean, eventually,
Yeah,
once if I can get back into it and find a good rhythm and find the prep where I can be more mentally stable and hopefully,
yeah,
do a correct reverse diet and, get the sport done. Then I'll be more interested in having that little help because
sure.
the sport it is very expensive. I think also this sport is very good for like because I noticed that most pros and most are all either trainers or coaches. So
Yeah,
they benefit from the sport because then they look a certain way. So then they have more people reaching out to them and saying, "Oh, I want to look like you. I want to do what you do." You know what I mean?
yeah,
Where I don't. So it's more of I'm doing it because I just love the sport itself.
sure.
Where they're doing it because they make money off of it.
Yeah, sure. That's true. Yeah, yeah. I was wondering if that would be something you'd be interested in doing later, as being a coach, maybe, or.
As for now, no. I
Hmm.
would never, not right now, especially as being so new and not knowing anything, I would never
Sure.
put myself out there and say, oh yeah, do this, do that. No, no, no.
Yeah,
I need to have experience and understand and learn and, and why this, why that, But for now, I just enjoy the sport. I just enjoy it.
I was thinking you might have like copyright issues with Jennifer Lopez too, as J Lo. Wait a minute, you're trying to steal my name. No,
Yeah.
no, I'm just teasing. So that's it for questions. Would you mind doing a quick flex for me?
No problem. Let's see. All right, let me see. Wait, sorry,
Sure.
sorry, sorry.
Oh yeah, you look great. Wow, your abs look great too. Wow. Yeah, I see what you mean. You look your abs really are looking good for being so far out from the show and everything.
Well, and eating every day. I've been eating like cookies and donuts every day.
Oh, that's amazing, Janelle. You really look great. So, well, oh, I think there's a kitty cat down there.
Yeah, this is my little.
Oh, that's a sweet kitty cat. I love cats. They're so awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and I'll get this posted soon.
No
And
problem.
and best wishes to you. I definitely will be in touch, and hope that you can do the pro qualifier next year. I'm excited for you.
Yes, definitely. I think we're breaking up a little bit and I can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going to stop recording real quick too.